We've got our boy all sealed up and all of our little things fixed up now, and the holes are all filled and things like that. So it should be nice and cleaned up and ready for a nice primer coat first and then to be painted. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to wet this down. So let me get my hose. The reason we do that is because this stuff is thirsty. It's concrete. It will suck up water like nobody's business. It loves to do it, and it is already drying so fast. And so the water kind of helps to pull the paint into the surface, so I get a better primer coat and more adhesion on this nice primer coat all over the surface of this guy. And you see it's already practically dry, but just getting that started is going to help to pull this paint into the surface. And it goes very fast, very sloppy. This is an industrial process. This is not art. This is getting as much paint down quickly as possible while it's still kind of moist. And it'll hopefully soak in and really grab on and give us a nice basis for our dry brushing, which we're going to do after. So you can see I'm just painting this thing ugly. Just paint it like a house. Slop it on, cover as much area as quickly as possible. Trying to get down in all these little crannies, dark places that paint doesn't want to go, as I would like to have it all be very uniform. Also have to be careful not to knock my sculpt off the pedestal. Break it. I haven't done that one yet, but definitely on the agenda at some point. Alright, just keep working my way down. It's really dried up quick. Cool day, it's a dry day. It is dry. Making sure I get down into all these little recesses, because really the most important place for this primer to be is in any of these low areas, because when we hit it with the dry brush, all the high areas are going to pop up and all the low areas are going to drop back. And if they're full of nice black paint, dark paint, they'll hide even better. Just go around making sure I got all the nooks and crannies, and you just keep going around because you always miss shit. Every damn time you think you got it. I'm done. There's some little white place sticking out, unpainted, accusing you, saying you did things you never did. That's not right. Okay. Glad I'm ambidextrous some days, because my hands get very sore. I'm painting sometimes. Just coming in. Now that I've got good cover in, I'm kind of coming into some of these detail areas and making sure to mop out any excess paint, so that I have the thinnest coat possible while still also having a full coat over the entire thing. All those little white areas that are pumping out. One nice thing about this primer is it goes on gray, but it dries really black. So it really does help to show what's underneath very well as it dries. You can see all the little nooks and crannies that I've missed as I go around and around and around. I'm making sure to go upside down in some of these crazy undercut places that I still have. Here, and that sleeve, and also being careful not to have any brush strokes or drips or any of that other stuff that can come with painting from a brush. You want it fast, but you don't want to mess up your sculpt either. You can see pretty quick, start to finish. It's just coverage, coverage, coverage. Paint it up, paint it up, paint it up. And the dry brush goes just as fast. Alright, that looks pretty good. I think I've got it in all those little places it loves to miss. Bird's butt. There you go. Okay, that's it. Now I'll just wait for this to dry and we'll show you how dry brushing goes. So there it is, all just primed up. Nice coat, and the skin's all brought together. You barely see that parting line in the back. It all just comes together really nicely. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to dry brush the high areas with white. So it'll contrast off this black and give us a nice pop of contrast there and show all this nice detail to its full advantage. Ooh. What I'm going to do is dip a little bit of this white here. This is just, I'll tell you, this is just plain ass like white paint. It's got a little bit of a creamy white. It's not perfectly dead ass white like me, I guess. Here we go. So I'm brushing as much of that, getting it out of the brush, getting it out of the brush, and then I'm coming down and getting it out of the brush, getting it out, getting it out, getting it out. Why did I put it in the first place? Because I need it. Okay? Alright. So let's get down to where it should be. First go is always a little delicate, so I'm just going to come in the back, which is obviously a less stressful area, and start in and make sure that it's working properly before I come around to anything important. So brush is coming in. Oh wow, shit. Wow. All right, so there we go. Just gonna very lightly brushing, almost like I'm dusting, so that I only really am brushing the high areas. And you can see as I do that, all those little bits of detail and some of the surface and everything like that just kind of comes to life and starts to really pop and show. All those little hairs that were kind of hiding back there are all showing now, and you can even see in the texture of this little cassock here, it's got a little texture in there as well. So there's all kinds of stuff going on here that you really can't see until you come in with the dry brush. So I'm just kind of whisking my way around, trying to avoid getting any kind of real brush strokes. I'm just barely touching this sucker with this. Trying to be delicate. There's a lot of touch to it. And just working my way around, working my way around. I say I'm trying to avoid brush strokes. There's times where actually a brush stroke can add a little look of handmade to something, which is not a bad thing. In this world of digital computer printing machines. Oh. See, just whisking around, trying to be consistent in terms of my coverage, especially in certain areas like the hair. I want to all kind of look together. I'm doing a lot of work on the back, so you can't see me doing shit. Let me get in here and whisk some of this around. Get some of that. Get some of that. So you start getting in there, it really pops those little hairs on his paws, his little hands there. And I'm really gonna start to get whisky with it. It's really just beating it back and forth. These large areas, you can just kind of get rough with it. very satisfying little slap, 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 slap. A little heavy there. Come back and just kind of blend that out. Bring in some of that detail of that rope under there. You can see I still haven't added any paint to the brush. I'm still painting huge amounts of stuff here with no paint on the brush at all. Down there, you get those little feet. It's wet down there, so I have to watch it. You can see as I come along, it just pops that edge right there and leaves all that dark laying in there. It just makes that drapery look so much nicer. This is a great technique I picked up from somebody on YouTube, which I should look up and credit, because I learned a lot of stuff from this one cement guy who makes a lot of statuary and stuff. So I'll try to look that up. Give him credits down in the comments or something. So he did me a solid. So I'm getting to the point where I can barely get anything showing here now. So I'm gonna get just a little more paint on here, and again, brush it down, brush it down, brush it down. And then just come right in and you should see how this looks back here. It's really cool. You can see, like, as I come down here, you'll see down into the edge of the robe or whatever, how it all just kind of pops. Again, I'm just kind of very quickly coming across the surface and kind of whisking this stuff on here very lightly onto the surface. So as you can see, after hitting it with this dry brush, it just really just pops all these little details all the way around the sculpt and just brings the whole surface together. Any of those fills or patches or any of those things are just kind of a thing of the past. You can see how nice the drapery pops now because of that little dry brush effect there. And as we go all the way around, you can just kind of see how nice everything comes together. It makes a really nice finish. Hey, so cats are in the show. And there it is, start to finish. This stuff's already dry because it was a dry brush technique. It's actually already dry, and I can move it out of the way and go ahead and finish the next one. I've got 3 of these bad boys primed up and ready to go. This is number 1, dry brushed and ready to go. So out of the way and on to the next. Thanks for watching.